Good morning. We are all familiar with the practice to sing Shalom Aleichem prior to making Kiddush on Friday night after returning home from shul. The question I'd like to discuss this morning is, where does this come from, and is this something that we should be doing? The Gemara in Shabbos on Daf Kuf Yud Tes tells us that two malachim, two angels, escort each of us home from shul on Friday night. And there are two scenarios in which they can play out. One is a malach tov, one is a good angel, and one is a malach ra, a bad angel. And when they return to home with the individual returning from shul, and they see, is the home ready for Shabbos? If the home is indeed ready for Shabbos, then the good malach says that every week should be like this, and the bad malach answers amen. And if the candles are not lit and the home is not ready for Shabbos, then God forbid, the opposite, the bad malach says this is what it should be every week, and the good malach says amen as well. And so many assume that it is that Gemara which is the source for this practice to recite Shalom Aleichem, that we are welcoming those angels into our home. However, Rav Tzadok HaKohen, he actually argues on that, and he says that is not the source. He doesn't argue in the Gemara, but he says that's not the source for the practice of reciting Shalom Aleichem, because he says that it doesn't make much sense to say Shalom Aleichem to a bad malach. So he gives a totally separate explanation based on mystical understandings that somehow the angels are attached to deep spiritual beings and deep spiritual activities, which is what Shabbos is, that Shabbos is somehow connected very deeply spiritually, and therefore the angels want a part of it. So we welcome them into our home to get a little piece of Shabbos. A third explanation is the Klosenberger Rebbe, who says that we always have malachim who are protecting us, who are watching us as well, and that on Shabbos, the weekday malachim leave and the Shabbos malachim come. The Shabbos malachim are somewhat holier, whatever that means, that they're holier angels, but he explains that we're welcoming in the special Shabbos angels and we are escorting out the weekday angels. Nonetheless, all of these explanations are assuming that we should say it. However, there were those that opposed that the Chassam Sofer and the Chazon Ish also opposed the reciting of Shalom Aleichem altogether. Their primary opposition based on the fact that it is haughty for us to assume that angels are following us around. Maybe that was the times of Chazal, but that we no longer are on the level to have angels individually following us around, which is also why it does show itself in other areas of halacha as well. And therefore they say that since that would be a haughty thing to do, we should not even recite Shalom Aleichem altogether. However, the Shevet Levi Rav Vazner defends the practice, and he says that no, Shabbos is indeed a holier time, and therefore you're right, maybe we're not on the level anymore to have malachim following us constantly, but at the very least on Shabbos, which is a holier time, we do, and therefore he says we should still continue to say it. Clearly, the practice in most circles today is still to recite the Shalom Aleichem, probably most likely based off, and this is what Mishnah Berurah assumes, that it's based off of the Gemara and Shabbos Kuf Yud Tes, that we are welcoming these malachim, hopefully welcoming them, showing them, look, we are ready, and therefore the good malach will get to say it should be like this every week, and the bad malach will have to answer amen. Have a fantastic day.